I'm just closing my SQL workbench. Here I'm going to teach MySQL, as you know. So once we are maybe done with demo classes, and actually today is the last demo, maybe tomorrow I will show you the installation process of MySQL. Okay, so I'm just opening it from once again. Whenever I open my MySQL workbench, I can able to see like this local instance. I need to click here. Okay, then this is the basically user interface of MySQL. Okay, these are all already opened SQL files here. Actually, let me close them. Or else, let me just quickly tell you what are all the options we have. So here, if I want to open any new file, if I want to write any SQL queries, I need to click on, I mean, this is a tool a menu bar which is available here, and this is a toolbar which is there, right? So if I click on this icon, okay.
Yeah.
So this first icon, I can open my new file, or else directly I can click from here also from file menu. If I click on file menu, new query type also I can open, or else if I can directly click on this first icon in the toolbar also, I can able to open one new file where we will write our SQL queries. Okay.
Yeah.
And here in this part, we are having some options. First option is that, once we save any, after writing any SQL queries, if we want to save that file in our laptop, we will click this second option, the save button, and we will save it normally in our laptops. Okay, I mean normally in our systems. And if we want to open already saved files, we need to click the first option here, folder option. It will just allow me to allow us to open the already saved files, right?
Yeah.
Next, third option is nothing but after writing any query, if we want to execute, we need to click on this button. Okay. And towards the left side, you can see something called as schemas. And below schemas, you will see the list of the databases available in my laptop. For the first time, once you install, you can able to see only sys database. But here, as I'm having some database names, these are all the database names which I created. Okay. And at the bottom you can see something called as output. This is the output section. Once we executed, the output will be displayed here. Okay. And for now, I think this is enough. Going forward, we will understand remaining options what we are having here. Okay, I hope this is clear for you, Arvind.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I know this thing. I have installed all these things. So
Okay, that's great. Then let's continue. So yesterday what I did, I just explain, as you already know. I'll just quickly explain everything and I'll continue with the today class. This is just the basics. As you know, what is a SQL in the sense, obviously it is a language which we will use to communicate with the database, right?
yeah,
And database is nothing but collection of data, right? And here I'm going to teach a MySQL tool, correct? So in this MySQL tool, first of all, SQL is, I mean, here MySQL actually, this is case instance too. Okay, that means even I can use uppercase or lowercase, it's okay. And especially in MySQL, semicolon is optional. Okay, usually previously in Oracle SQL or Microsoft SQL, I mean that is SQL Server, we used to write semicolon at the end. Then only SQL, I mean that will become the end of that statement, right?
yeah,
But here semicolon is optional actually. If we use also, that is okay. If we don't use also, that is okay. Okay. And you already might know about the comments here, right? That is single line comments or multiple line comments we will have. So single line comments in the sense, I can use this symbols, two hashes, or I mean two this hyphens or one hash. Okay. Whatever I write inside the single line comments, I mean whatever I basically write inside the comments, that are non-executable, right? So this is the single line comments option, and this is the multi-line comments option. Okay. I hope this is also okay for you.
yeah.
And next, actually, we started creating database. Okay, that is 1 second. One more student is joining. Uh, Hi, can you hear me, Tawa?
Hi, yes, I can hear you.
All right. I hope this is your first class, right?
Yes, it is.
Great. So I just started the class 5 minutes before, and actually, to be frank, yesterday I started this demo class. So I just gave some small introduction about MySQL, and I just we created how to create the database, and we just created one table. So before that, please, can you please let me know about yourself, Tawa? Like, are you from IT background or non-IT background? Do you have prior knowledge on SQL or not?
Yeah, I am from IT background. I do have some prior knowledge related to SQL, but that
Okay.
was very long time back.
Okay, I
So
got it.
just hope to refresh back the knowledge. Yep.
All
Thanks.
right, that will be fine. Actually, the reason why I'm asking in the sense, as I said yesterday, I started the batch, right? So here we have Arvind also. He also attended today only. So as you both of you has already some knowledge on SQL, it won't be much. It will be easier for me to cover the things. We just you already might know how to create the database and create table syntaxes and data types, right? Up to that basic concepts only we finished yesterday. So that is the reason I'm asking. I'll just quickly explain them and we will continue with the next topics. Okay. I hope that is fine for you also.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. So this is the MySQL actually, which we are going to use in this course. I mean, the tool which I am going to explain. I mean, the tool which we are going to use in this course is MySQL, right? Just now I just shown the user interface of MySQL. It just Let me close and open. Arvind, just give me 1 minute. Let me repeat this. I'm just opening MySQL once again. We need to, once we open our MySQL workbench, we need to click on this local instance here, right? One maybe tomorrow or maybe on Monday, I will show you the installation process of MySQL. Okay. So once we open MySQL, this is the user interface where we will work. Okay. So these are all the SQL files which we will use here. Basically, these are the files where I can say this is the editor where we will write all the SQL queries, right? So, and towards the left side, you can see something called as schemas. Here, we are having the list of databases available. Okay. By default, we will have this database. And once we created any database, all the list of the databases will be available here. Okay. And we have few more options here. Basically, to open this new file, we need to click either this is a menu bar and this is a toolbar. Either we need to click file and new query tab to open one a new SQL file, I can say, or else I can even click on this first icon in the toolbar. If I click on this icon also, I can able to open one SQL file. Okay. This is how we will open basically SQL files. And once we open any SQL files, here also we are having some options. The first option is that once we write any queries, if we want to save this file, we will click the second option here, that is save button, normal save button. You might all know about this. Once we click on that save button, we can able to save that file in our laptops. And the first option is that after saving, if we want to open the already saved files, we need to click the first option, and we can open any of the SQL file from here, from our laptop, right? And the third button is nothing but execute button. After writing any queries, we can click on this option to execute it. I hope whatever I explain, is that clear for you?
Yeah.
uh Tava, for you, is that okay?
Yes, yes, it's okay.
Yeah. So remaining options going forward we will learn. Okay. And this is what I finished in yesterday's class actually. We all know what is database and SQL. Database is nothing but collection of the data where we will store the data, and SQL is nothing but it is a language which is used to communicate with the databases, right? Basically, the thing is here in each of my batch, at least I will have a couple of students who will be from non-IT background and who will be new to SQL. So for that reason, I will start explaining from scratch. So actually you are having only 2 people, and as you already having knowledge on SQL, I'm just trying to explain it quickly. Okay, if you have any doubts in between, you can just ask me. And Tava, let me tell you, from Monday, maybe our timings will be from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Is that timing okay for you? 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. IST.
Now you're starting at 6, right?
We are starting at 6, right?
Yeah,
Actually,
7 should be fine.
yeah, that will be great. Actually, I'm already started one batch 1 week ago. We're already having some 11 students in that batch, and this is kind of add-on batch. So maybe for 2-3 days, I will take this time. Once we are done with that syllabus, I will just, we will just move to that batch. Okay, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. IST. That is the reason I'm asking you before only. All right. So here in MySQL, first of all, it is case insensitive. That is, we can use either lowercase or uppercase, and semicolon is also optional here. If we write semicolon or if we don't write semicolon is also, that is fine. Previously, we have some tools, right? Like Oracle SQL Server. Nowadays in SQL Server also, semicolon is optional, but the same thing is applied in the MySQL also. If we write semicolon is also, it is okay. Basically, we used to write semicolon at the end of the statement, right? Whenever SQL sees semicolon, it used to understand that is the end of a SQL statement. But here in MySQL, semicolon is optional. If we write also, it will work. If you don't write also, that is okay, right? And we know that we will have something called as comments in any of the SQL or in any of the programming language. That means whatever we will write inside the comments, that is non-executable, right? So here also we are having single line comments and multi-line comments. Single line comments, to write single line comments, either we will use this symbol, 2 hyphens, or else hash. Anything is okay. And multi-line comments, obviously the same thing which we will use in Java also, this thing, hash, asterisk, and in between we can write anything, and then asterisk and hash, like this. I hope it is okay for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Sorry, because I'm in the car, so I
So
couldn't
no problem.
be
No problem.
responsive. Yeah. Thanks.
No problem. Actually, the reason why I'm pausing and asking again and again, in the sense, usually every time whatever I will teach, I will write every line and I'll use to teach. Today, as I am just, as you already familiar with this concepts and I already started yesterday's, I'm just explaining a little bit fast, and I'm just explaining what is already wrote, right? That is the reason I'm just stopping everywhere. Anyways, no problem. Let's continue. So this is the basics of SQL, and let's first see how to create. Let's try to create the database, and let's go with the continuous concepts. First, to create the database, we know this is the syntax, right? Create database name. So that is what we did yesterday. I used create database and I gave the name as sample. Okay, so let me do one thing. Maybe I'll change and I will quickly uh, write everything. So now I'm giving the name as simple, something like that. I'm giving some name as simple. This is the database name. Obviously, I will select this and I will execute. Right? It got executed. This is the output where, I mean, this is the output section where we will see the outputs. If we it is displaying in the green color, that means it is executed successfully. If we get any errors, obviously it will show us in the red color cross mark. Right? So I executed one database here. So to display this database name in the list of the, in the list of the schemas, I need to refresh the schema here, right? So here, besides schemas, I'm having some refresh option. I'm just clicking on the refresh option. Then I can able to see whatever database I just created. I can able to see that name inside this list, right? So this is about creating database. Next, especially in MySQL, after creating the databases, we need to activate the database. Then only, here I'm having so many lists of databases. First, I need to activate the database. Then only, basically whenever I execute anything, SQL will get confused that which database to use. So first of all, we need to activate the database. Then, after that only we need to start working on that particular database. Right? So here I created the database called as simple, right? Now to activate the database, we will use command, and the syntax is simple. That is use database name. Okay. So that is what we did. So every time, basically in real time, we will work with obviously for the client's database, and we will use only one database. But in learning process, we may have many databases. So every time, whenever we are, or whenever we are using, first we need to activate the database, and then only we need to start working, right? So let me just change this database name here. Activating is very simple. We need to use keyword, and then we need to use the database name. Here I'm just selecting and executing. If you can see, that particular database name is highlighted for me. That means by seeing like this also, we can understand this database is in activation, right? Now I will start working on this particular database. Okay, obviously we know after creating database, next step is creating tables, correct? So this is the create table syntax, which you might already know. That is create table name, and after writing table name, within the parenthesis, we will give column name, and for each and every column we will give data types, right? So that is what we did. uh, as you already know, obviously inside the tables we will insert the data in the form of rows and columns, right? So here for example, I took employees table, and in employees table I given the columns as this one: employee id, employee name, salary, and date of joining. Four columns I used. Okay. So and the data types. So employees will be my column name. I used employee id, employee name, salary, date of joining as my columns. Okay, obviously this vertical part is called columns and horizontal part is called rows, which you might already know. So maybe I will enter some random data here like this. Suppose this will become my columns and this will become my rows, as you already know. So every time what we will do, whenever we are creating tables, for every column we need to define the data type. Why we are defining the data type? In the sense, first of all, data type means it defines what type of value we can store in that column, right? For example, if we store the same data in the form of excel file, just imagine we am having the salary column. Obviously I need to enter numbers only here, but suppose if I entered something like hi or hello, it is just allowing me to enter, right? Excel file or any other normal files, it won't stop me if I am entering any irrelevant data or incorrect data, correct? Basically I need to use numbers only in this salary. So previously we used to store data in the form of excel files, and if we store the data in the form of excel file, this is one of the limitation which we will face, right? This is one of the drawback, and technically we will call it as data consistency. Okay, basically our system should be such robust, whenever we are enter any irrelevant data or incorrect data, it should throw us an error, right? So for that reason, in SQL, this data types will help us to do that process. Okay, so basically whatever data types we are giving, that data types only will define what type of values we can store in that particular column. Okay, I hope you already know about this. So let's see what types of data types are there in SQL. First one is numerical data type, right? And in numerical data type, again, it is further divided into two types, that is int and float. Int in the sense integers, we can store normal numbers in it. So mostly we will use these three data types. First is numeric data type, and then it is further divided into two types, int and float. Integers in the sense normal numbers we can store, float in the sense it allows decimal values as well, right? Next, character or string data type. Character or string data type, basically we will call it as character data type or string data type. Again, it is further divided into two types, that is char and varchar. Char is called as fixed length data type and varchar is called as variable length data type. And I'll tell you the difference between char and varchar. And before that, let's try to understand what is date and next data type is date and time data type. That is further divided into date data type and date time data type. Okay. So that is what I wrote here. And we need to use this format only for date data type. That is, first I need to write year, then month, then date. Like this is the complete format. We need to use the same format. In date time data type, we are allowed to use a time also, right? Whenever we are we want to enter along with the date, if we want to enter time, we will use date time data type for that particular column. And the format is this one. Okay, hours, minutes, and seconds. And next we are having one more data type called as Boolean data type, and the values will be true and false. Okay, so I hope up to here everything is clear.
Yes.
Yes.
Great, great. So here, that is what I did here. Basically, as we know, whenever we are using character data, we will define some size, right? So because whatever size I will define here, that much of memory only will be allocated to this employee name. Here, let's see what columns I gave. Employee ID, right? So I gave integer here because normally only numbers will be there in employee ID. Employee name, for now I used char. And whenever we will use character data or string data, we need to define one size. Whatever size we want to define, after writing char, we need to write the size within the brackets or parentheses, right? So this is indicating that I am allocating, whenever I define the size like this, SQL will allocate that particular memory for that employee name. That is, I'm supposed to enter only 10 letters or 10 characters in this column. More than that, I cannot enter as I define the size. Okay. Next, we are having salary column. For salary column, I define the data type as float, because sometimes we may enter decimal values also in this, right? Next, we are having date of joining column, and I gave date as the data type. Okay. So I'll create this table. The table got created. Let me refresh the schema here. If I am of course, Arvind, we will get the notes. I believe in, instead of giving some theory notes and everything practically, what I will do after each and every session, whatever files you are seeing, the SQL files, that files I will upload it in the link. Okay. Basically, once you got register, you will get, I'm sorry, guys. So once you got register, you will get a you will get one link, you will get one access of it. Our admin people will give the access for you, the drive access there. Basically every day videos will also get uploaded. If you miss any of the class, you can even access the videos. Along with that, once I will done with each and every topic, I will upload the same file there. And here in our course, great. Basically in our course only, I will just show you the course content which we are going to follow going forward. So only basic concepts, maybe up to sub languages we will use, normal employees table and maybe students table. Once we start main concepts, I will use real-time database here, that is OTT platforms database. Okay, or I can call it as movies database. That is a kind of Netflix database. On that database only we will learn each and every concepts. If you can see here, this is one of the file. Like this, I will, every concepts I will explain along with the examples, and like this I will upload the notes. Then and there only you will have the theory part, example question along with the syntax, so that it will be easier for you whenever you are revising the concepts, right? That is how I will follow. So yeah, let's continue. Yeah, that will be great for revision, because if you open just one file, then and there only you can able to understand the concept. You can find the syntaxes, you can find along with the examples, you can find the queries, right? That is why I will follow this process. Let me just open and show you one more file. And basically each and every concept I will explain with examples only. This is joins concept. You can see here I will give queries as questions, and then everything we will, I don't just copy and paste any queries. I will write everything. And once I'm just writing or explaining everything, I will explain in such a way that then and there only you will be perfect, or you will be capable of writing. Anyone will be capable of writing all the queries, right? So like this, I will write, I mean, everything I will teach along with the examples, and I'll upload these files for you. Okay, so let me continue. All right. So here what I did, I just refreshed the table to watch the, I mean, to see the table name. I will just expand these tables, and you can see here the employees table name. We created this employees table just now, right? So here in MySQL, if we are just clicking this employees, we can able to see the column names and the data types here, right? Here we will get that information, so that it will easily we can understand what columns are there and what type of, I mean, what data types we define. Correct. So this is about the create table syntax. And next, obviously, insert command. I hope you already familiar with this also. Insert into employees, that means table name. I will need to give the keyword called as values. Let me repeat. Insert into table name. I will write a keyword called as values, and after that I will enter all my values like this, like however I gave the column names, like that. Within the parenthesis I will give the data here. First employee ID, next I will give a comma, then employee name. Whenever I will use this comma, whenever SQL sees that comma, it will understand this is the data of one column, this is the data of one column, I mean second column, third column, like that. Once I finish entering first row of data, I will close the parenthesis, and I will keep, I used to keep, and I need to give one more comma here. Then SQL will understand this is the first row data and this is the second row data, right? And here, if you observe, for all the character data and the data type data, I used single quotes. Either we can use single quotes or double quotes, that is fine. Okay. So like this, we will write. I just gave some random details here, like employee name is Raj, salary is 50,000, and this is some date of joining, like this. So I'll just select this and I'll execute. Okay, now it got executed. Obviously, we created the table, we inserted the data, and to display the data, we will use select command, right? Select is one of the command which is used to display the data. And the syntax for that is select star from table name, right? Here we'll call it as asterisk. And basically why we will use asterisk, I mean, whenever we want to display complete data, we will use asterisk, right? If we want to display any particular data, we will use the column names. So suppose here I am using like this, select star from employees. That means I need to select this, I need to execute this, then I can able to see the output, complete output or complete data, right? Whatever columns we created, whatever data we inserted, right? If we want to see any particular columns, we will write that particular column names in the place of asterisk. So here I wrote only employee name and salary. I'll select this and I'll execute, right? I can able to see that particular column names only, right? So one more thing here, if in MySQL especially, as I said, semicolons is optional, right? But if we want to execute both the SQL statements together, we need to use semicolon. Okay, then SQL will understand this is the end. I mean, whenever it sees semicolon, it will understand this is one statement and this will be another statement. If I don't use semicolon and if I execute both the statements together, it will throw me error stating that syntax error. Okay, so if whenever I wanted whatever SQL statements are there, if I wanted to display them together, I need to use the semicolon. Then it will understand that it will be the separate statement and it will give me the output like this. Here you can see I will get the two tabs. The first tab will show the output of first query. I can redirect to the second tab to see the output of second query. Okay, like this. So I think that's it. Up to here only yesterday I covered. And I think I need to explain the difference between char and varchar also, right? So let me just quickly explain that also. Then we will continue the remaining concepts. Suppose for the same employee name I'm writing, and suppose I'm using the data type as char and I gave the size as 10. Okay, if I give like this, what will happen in the backend? Here I mentioned the size as 10, right? So obviously I said this is the size, whatever size we are giving, that much of memory is only allocated to that particular column, right? So let me just divide this data into this box into 10 divisions. 4, maybe 10. Okay, so as I gave the size as 10, I just divided this box into uh, you know 10 divisions. Okay, suppose if I am entering any data here, suppose if I am entering Raj name here, each character will be written or will be given inside each box. Okay, that means basically what SQL is doing here, it is allocating 10 bytes of memory. Each box we can consider is one we can consider as 1 byte of memory, and whatever characters I enter, each character will be placed in or will be occupied 1 byte of memory, right? Suppose if I enter only 3-letter word, that is Raj, that means 3 bytes of memory is used, right? Again, I was left over with 7 bytes of memory, correct? So here, whenever we are using char, what happens? The 7 bytes of memory is also used, and every byte of the memory will be given blank spaces like this. Okay, so with irrespective of the data, whatever we enter, the complete size will be used whenever we are declaring or whenever we are defining char. The 7 bytes of memory is also used with the blank spaces. That means memory wastage is happening whenever I'm using char, right? This memory is wasting for me here, right? Correct, it is waste of memory. Whereas suppose if I use varchar, I'm not once again I'm not drawing the same box, as you can understand. So maybe if I use varchar here for the same employee name, if I use varchar of 10, and let me just use maybe another color. So if I divide the box into 10 parts, same for the varchar also, if I entered the 3-letter words, again it will be one second. Again 7 bytes of memory will be there for me, right? In varchar, that 7 bytes of memory will not be used by the employee name column here. Whenever we are using varchar, irrespective of the whatever data we enter, irrespective of the size we defined, whatever data we entered, that much of memory only will be used by varchar. The remaining data or the leftover data will be given back to the database. That means memory won't be wasted whenever I use varchar. Okay, I hope I'm clear. Perfect. So this is the concept here. This is the first main difference between char and varchar. That is the reason we will call char it as if char as a fixed length data type. That means accordingly whatever data we are whatever size we are giving, it will take that much of memory, right? So that will be the fixed length, correct? In varchar, we will call it as variable length data type. That means variable length in the sense accordingly whatever characters we will give, whatever data we enter, that much character size only it will use, right? Basic difference is that in char memory will be wasted, in varchar memory won't be wasted. And again, in char we can store up to 255 characters only. Okay, we can store up to 255 characters only. That means the size I can use up to 255 only. In varchar I can store up to some 64,252, I guess. I'll give correctly in the notes, but almost to 64,000 of 64,000 some value. I didn't remember perfectly at this point of time. So just imagine 64,000 characters we can use in varchar. Okay. And whenever we will, when in which scenarios we will prefer to use char, in the sense, suppose we know exactly what kind of data we are going to enter. For example, if it is a gender column, we know how, I mean, what kind of data we will enter in gender column, either male or female. That is fixed, right? So at that time, for such columns we may use char, no problem. But if we don't know how much, I mean, what kind of data or how much characters we are going to enter in any column, we prefer to use varchar. Okay, so this is one more thing. I hope I'm clear the difference between char and varchar. Great. So this is what I covered actually in yesterday. And as a sorry, so actually this course is of 35 days. Okay, the duration is of 35 days and the course fees is only 2,000. Previously we used to charge 5,000, but we are giving offer for 3 batches. From the last 2 batches we are offering for 2,000 only, and this is the third batch. Okay, here I will first let me show you the course content. Yeah, 90% class will be from Monday to Friday only, but if required, I may take 1 or 2 Saturdays. It depends, we can discuss that on Friday, but mostly I prefer to take only on weekdays. Okay. And this is the course content which I'm going to cover in this course. Okay, so first, introduction to databases and SQL, limitations of Excel, creation of database and tables, then MySQL installation, then data types, then we are having SQL commands, or I will also call it as SQL sublanguages, right? We are having this many sublanguages, and we will have some queries in, I mean, some commands inside each sublanguage. We will learn each and every command very digitally. Okay, next concept is integrity constants, that is primary key, foreign key and all. Next, the select is again a command from DQL only, ignore this. Okay, so up to here, whatever I will teach, I will use normal basic employees table or students table kind of thing. Okay, next, once we are done with this thing, I will give you the live project, that is I can call it as either movies database, or that is an OTT platform, Netflix kind of database. So on this database only we will learn each and every concept, so that in real time also obviously we will deal with big data. So in learning process also, if we learn each and every concept with this kind of real-time database, that will be easy for us. Easily we can learn how to deal with that real-time database, right? Instead of just learning every concept with 4 or 5 rows, if we are dealing with real-time database, we will having some thousands of rows in it. We will get used to it, how to handle or how to manage the database, right? So that is the reason in I'm teaching by using some real-time database only. Okay, and the concepts at this point, after we are done with integrity constraints, I will give you the database. I will explain, I will a little bit of explanation. I will just explain what are all the tables we have, what kind of data we have, and I will show you, I will basically give that database to you. You can just download and you can, I will show you how to restore that database also in MySQL. Okay. Next concepts are where clause, that is I can say clauses and operators which we have in SQL, where clause, order by clause. Along with that, this are all actually I'll teach clauses and operators together because that is an interrelated topic, right? So where is this? SQL basic operators like and, or, not, like that. Next, range operator, membership operator, distinct clause, limit clause. Next, like operator. Inside like we will have some wildcards, right? Like operator we will use for pattern matching of data. So this concepts comes under clauses and operators. Okay. Next, we will understand about functions. We are having some functions like numerical functions, character functions, date functions, aggregate functions. We will cover each and every functions very clearly. Okay, so next, joins. I think joins is the most important topic. Mostly in real time, we will perform or we will work almost 80 to 90% on joins only. So I will teach each and every join very clearly along with many examples. Okay, along with that, I'll give some assignment questions on joins also. Next concept is regular expressions, and we'll have some wildcards in regular expressions. This is a special concept for especially for data science or data analytics. In that field, we will use mostly this regular expressions concept. Of course, SQL developers will also use, but mostly used by data analyst for pattern matching kind of thing. We can, by using regular expressions, we can find the data, we can find the pattern matching of the data. Okay. Next, group by clause, having clause, aggregate clause inside group by clause. Then subqueries, we are having two types of subqueries, right? Correlated and non-correlated. I will explain each and every concept with examples. Next, normalization concepts, denormalization, how many normal forms are there, and how we will basically convert denormalized data into normalized form. Okay, then ER diagrams, then views, indexes, temporary tables, CTEs, that is common table expression. This is again one of the important concept I can say. Okay, by using temporary tables, we will actually clean the duplicate data. So next, CTEs, store procedure, and Windows function. Nowadays in every interviews we can expect at least one Windows function as an interview question. We'll have some 5 types of Windows functions. We will discuss each one of that very detailedly. So this is the course content. At the end, I will discuss interview questions. So this is the concepts which I'm going to cover. Whatever I will teach very practically along with the examples, that too by using the real-time database. Okay. Thank you so much, Arvind. All right. So I hope the course content is also clear for you. I think let's continue the class. So this is actually the database which we are going to use. These are all the tables we have. Once we start our actual course, I will explain detailedly. For example, as this is a Netflix kind of database, I'm having one table called as film. I'm just executing that so that you can see the data. So we are having this many columns, that is film ID, title, that means movie name, I can say, description of the film. Whenever we open any Netflix or any kind of OTT, beside OTT platforms, beside movie name, we will see some kind of description over there, right? So that description, release year, language ID, original language ID, we'll have some columns like this, like maybe length, that is duration, rentals thing, rating of the movie, like that. Whenever we are dealing with this database, I will explain each and every concept here. How many tables are there, what kind of data is there, and going forward, all the concepts we will learn along with this database only. Okay. So I hope I'm clear till here, and then I'll just open a new file and let's continue. Okay. Next concept is that SQL sublanguages. Okay. So actually, today is Thursday, right? If it is okay for you, two two of you, okay. If you think actually we will every time we will give 3 demos freely. So yesterday actually I started 2 days back only. This is the third demo. Okay, whatever I tried to explain on that 2 days, I think I covered here. So maybe if you are okay with the course content, if you are okay with my explanation, you please register with us. And tomorrow is Friday, right? So I hope we can continue. We are left over with only sub languages concept. Great, Arvind. So we are just we need to cover sub languages and integrity constraints concept and little bit about these clauses. Then we can join in that regular session. We are having already 12 students where I have to register. If you can see, let me just copy once again. Already our admin team has given the details in the chat box. I'm just once again copying it and pasting it for you. And as you attended today's session, you will also get a mail tomorrow. Once I just pasted the details here, or else you will get the mail also tomorrow. That is the details. Please follow them. Okay. Whenever you get the mail also, whatever it is, you will get the same details in the mail. You can just register. Okay. Great. All right. So as I'm saying, now for that 7 o'clock batch, I'm just teaching classes and operators. So we need to cover this concepts and then we will join that batch. Maybe if you are registered today, tomorrow and Friday and this week, Saturday also I will take. We will cover the concepts and from Monday we will shift to 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Batch. I hope that would be okay for you. Great. Perfect, Tawa. Thank you. All right, let's continue. Next, let's start SQL commands. Actually, this is becoming easy for me because as you both already belongs to IT background, I can just able to explain it little bit quickly. Or else also, if at least I have any one student who is completely new, maybe I will take 2 more classes extra. And whenever I feel that I balance 2 batches, then I will just add or club that batches. Usually, this is our every time we will follow the same process. I already got used to it, so no problem. Next, let's start SQL sublanguages concept. Okay, 1 second. So we already know what type of sublanguages we'll have. We'll call it as SQL sublanguages or SQL commands. We are having 5 types here. First one is DDL, next DML, DCL, TCL, and DQL. That is data definition language, data manipulation language, data control language, transaction control language, and data query language. Okay. Again, inside each and every sub language, we will have different types of commands available here. So let's try to understand each and every command now. So SQL sublanguages, as I said, we are having 5 sublanguages. One is DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, and DQL. Okay. So first is DDL, that is data definition language. Commands comes under DDL are obviously create command, create, drop, alter, truncate, and rename. These are all the commands which comes under DDL. Okay, so basically DDL is nothing but it deals with, it deals with the design of the table, I can say. Once let's try to understand each and every command, then we can come to that conclusion. First command is obviously create command, which we already saw, right? Create command is used to create any database objects, right? Database objects in the sense it's nothing but it can be tables, it can be views, it can be stored procedure, like that. So we already saw how to use and how we will write create syntax just now, so I'm not repeating it once again, right? This is the same thing. Obviously whenever we are defining or whenever we are creating the table, we need to give the column names and we need to give the data types, right? So this is about the create command. Next we have drop command, alter command. Let's try to start alter command. I don't think today we will finish this, but let's start and let's continue in tomorrow's class. Okay, so first alter command, basically we will have 5 types of use cases in alter command. Okay, let's discuss each one of the command very detailedly. First use case is that alter command is used to whenever we want to add a column in the existing table, we will use alter command. That is, first use case is used to add any new column in the existing table. Okay, so for example, I already created employees table. I'm having this many columns. Suppose now I wanted to add some new column into the existing table, then I will use this alter command. Okay, this is the first use case. As I said, there are 5 use cases in alter. This is the first use case. So let's see how what is the syntax to add a new column. So first I will write syntax alter table name, and we need to use a keyword called as add here. As we are adding a new column, I need to use add, and then after writing add keyword, directly whatever column name I want to use, I want to give that column name I will give. So for example, column name, obviously whenever we are defining column name, we need to give the data type, right? Here also, whenever we are creating table for the first time, we will give column names, and after giving every column name, we will define the data type, right? So here also what we are doing, I already having this many columns. Now I just realized, or I just wanted to add one more column to the employees table, then I will use alter command. Okay, this is the syntax: alter table name, add column name. Whenever we are adding or defining a column name, obviously for that particular column, we need to define data type as well, right? So let's see the example. Alter table, I'll use the same table employees, right? Add column name. So maybe I will add a column name called as bonus. Okay, and the data type on the bonus column, maybe I'll give the data type as float, right? Bonus in the sense, maybe I will give it will be numbers only, maybe I can give integers, or I mean integer or float, right? Here I'm giving float as the data type. I hope it is clear. Alter table name, add column name and data type. Okay, now I need to select this, I need to execute. Okay, actually last time it just throw me error stating Maven movies dot employees doesn't exist. That means previously I just, to show you, I activated Maven movies database, right? Now Maven movies is in activation. That is the reason it is throwing me this error. First I need to reactivate our the simple database, right? So I'm just reactivating it once again. Uh, so this is the error which we will face if we are not using the correct database. We will get like this error. Currently my Maven movies database is in activation and I'm just trying to execute this thing. It is saying me in this database this table is not existing. So I'm just activating our simple database. Now I need to execute this thing. It got executed successfully, right? Now let me just try to display the data, select star from employees. You can see I got my bonus column. As I didn't enter any data in it, it is just throwing me null values, right? Basically, this is how we will add a new column in the existing table by using alter command. I hope I'm clear. The first use case. Great. Second use case. Let's see what is the second use case here. Second use case of alter. So if we want to, it is also used to, if we want to remove any column, any particular column from the existing table, then also we will use alter command. I repeat, the first use case is that if we want to add a new column in the existing table, we will use alter command. And the second use case is if we want to remove any column from the existing table, then also we will use alter command only. Suppose I'm already having one table, just now I just realized I don't want one column, I want to remove one column, then I will use the same alter command. Okay, so let's see how to use this. What is the syntax to use? Again, alter table name. Here I need to use a keyword called as drop. Previously, as I am adding I'm adding the column, I used a keyword called as add. Now I'm removing a column, I'll use the keyword called as drop. Okay, so I'll say alter table name drop. I want to drop the column, right? So I will mention it as column and I'll give what column name I want to remove. So this is my syntax: alter table name drop column name. Okay, let me write alter table employees drop column name. Maybe I'll just drop the same column which we just added, that is bonus. Here, whenever we are just defining or adding, we need to define the data type. But here I'm already removing, I'm just removing already created table, right? So no need of giving or defining any data types, right? I'll just normally use here I'm just trying to drop the column or remove the column. That is the reason after drop command, I will use column also as a keyword. Then I'll use the column name. Okay. Let me just select and execute. It got executed. Now let me once again try to select the output, select star from employees. My bonus column is removed. Correct. So this is the second use case. Let's quickly try to understand the third use case also. So third use case is basically we will use alter command to change the data types. Change the data type of the existing column, I can say, or else change the data type of any column in the existing table, I can say, right? That means if I want to, suppose I created already one table, I gave one data type, then I realized I want to change the data type of that column in the existing table. So I will use alter command again. Okay. So here, for example, in employees table for employee name, we gave char of 10, right? So just now we saw the differences between char and varchar and we realized varchar is better than char. So now I wanted to change the data type of employee name from char to varchar. Okay, then again we will use the alter command, right? So what is the syntax here in the sense? Alter table name. Here I need to use the what we call keyword called as modify. Okay, so alter table name, I'm just modifying in the sense obviously changing only, right? I want to change the data type, so I will use the keyword called as modify and I'm changing column data, so I will write the keyword called as column and whatever I want to change that one. Suppose here I'm changing employee name column, right? I'll write employee name and directly, okay, this is the syntax, right? Sorry, so I'll write column name data type. I can say I will directly write new data type. If required, we will mention size, right? This is the syntax. Alter table name. We need to write the keyword called as modify. We are just modifying the column. We will say to SQL that we are basically trying to modify the column, and what column we are modifying and what is the new data type we are giving. Okay, that is the syntax here. Let me write it. Alter table name is employees. Modify column, and column name is ename, right? And new data type I wanted to give here is varchar of maybe 10, right? This is what we will do. Previously I have for employee name I had char, now I'm giving varchar. And especially in MySQL, in this syntax, this particular syntax, whenever we are trying to change the data type, we will use the keyword called as modify. If we are doing whatever we learned till here, all the syntaxes are same whenever we are dealing with SQL Server. SQL Server is another tool from the Microsoft. All the syntaxes are same, but only for this syntax, if we are working in SQL Server, we need to use alter again here. No need of, I mean, if we use modify there, it will throw us error. We need to use alter only here. That is, I mean, just for knowledge purpose, and I'm explaining you in SQL Server. Okay, not in MySQL. So MySQL, this is the syntax. So let me just select. It got altered. If you can see now I am having char. I'll just refresh it. I got my varchar, right? This is about the third use case. Whatever I said, I hope it is clear for everyone. Up to here, it is clear, right? Perfect. Actually, let's meet in tomorrow's class and let's continue the remaining concepts. If you are really interested, please get register. Maybe tomorrow we are already done with 3 demos. I'm not sure, maybe today is the last demo, tomorrow is the last demo. If today is the last demo, tomorrow, by tomorrow, whoever candidates will make the payment, whoever candidates will get registered, for them they will send the new link, new Zoom link. Please attend that, I mean, please follow that link to join the class. Or else if they keep tomorrow also as a demo class, we'll just continue with the classes. Okay, with the same concepts we can continue. Okay, I hope it is clear for everyone. I hope there is no doubts. If everything is okay, I'll end the session for now. All right, guys, let's meet tomorrow.